Hi Intune friends, I will in this video show how we package Adobe Acrobat Reader in Intune, and we're also going to take help of ChatGPT to help to write some of the script. So let's start to download the files, and I'm going to put all the links in the description of this video. So to download, we have this URL here, and you have multiple choices to install. So we want just the reader. So it might look strange. Why should we install Acrobat Pro? Well, this is a unified application, so it includes both Adobe Reader and Adobe Acrobat, which is great. So it is Adobe Reader, but if you log in with an Adobe Acrobat, you get Adobe Acrobat as well, the editor. So this one is a bit bigger, but I prefer to have that one installed than to package two different. So let's download this one since it's 1 GB. So download. Have a good connection. It's actually take a longer time to extract this zip file than to download it. So there it's downloaded. We're not going to open the file. Let's click on this folder. You'll see it's in my download folder. So we can right click and then extract all. Keep all default, why not? Show extracted files after complete. Perfect. So here are our installation files. And the biggest file here is an MSP file. It's a patch file. So actually here is the acropro.msi. That's the file we're going to use to install. But that have a very old version. And then the MSP, the patch file, going to put it to the latest version. So the files are extracted. A lot of MST, transform files. So it opened up automatically. We want only the source file, so all these files. So I'm going to do a Control A, a Control C. We're going to copy all these files. Where should we copy them? Well, let's create a root directory. I'm going to do a new folder here. So we can click New Folder. Let's call it Intune Packages or something. And then we can do Shift Control N to do new folder also. And here we call the name of the package. So it's Adobe Acrobat. And I don't know the version right now, so I'll put 3 X's and 1 extra X 64 for 64. And we're going to change these 3 X's to the version number. We're going to do a test install before we actually upload to Intune and everything. So first we just need to script install this. So let's go in here. You have followed my package videos, know that I need 2 folders in here. So I right click, create a new folder. One's going to be source, and that's actually where we're going to put in our files that we have copied. So we go in here, do a Control V or right click and paste. So here it's copying all the files. We're going to go through these files a bit. But I want to go up one more folder to our root folder and create one more folder here. So I do Shift Control N. And this one we called output. So that we're going to need later. It's where we're going to output the intunewin file, the file we're going to upload to Intune. But right now we need to finish to create the source. So if we go back into the source, then we have acropro.msi. That's the one who's going to install. But again, it's very small, 10 megabyte. It's actually going to call, we're going to put in the script to call this patch file. And in the transform, we have a lot of different language. 1033 is English, and you have a lot of other languages. I'm just going to do English. If you have other requirements, you can definitely add those. But we keep all the files, even those we will not use. We even have VCRT, like Visual C++, that will only install if it's missing. But that's a requirement coming from the MSI. We don't need so much other, but we need all these files. So in this source folder, we're going to create 2 PowerShell scripts, one install and one uninstall. Let's start to do the install. So we can right click, new, and this time we create just a text document. It's not going to be a text document. If you don't show extension, you're just going to see new text document. But we're going to call this one install Adobe Acrobat. Again, we don't know the version, so we're going to have to rename this one again. 64.ps1, which is the extension. Are you sure you want to change? Yes. If you didn't see this, then go to options here, and I clicked on the three dots here, and then I think it's under view. Yes. Then it is hide extension for known file types. Just uncheck that, and then you're gonna see it. If you have it checked like this, we click OK here. I don't know why it jumped back here. Then you see our .ps1 is gone. So I just click on the three dots here, options, view, and uncheck hide extension for known file types. So if you created a file and you couldn't see it, just do that and it comes back. And then you can just right click and rename. And if you had it txt from before, you just put ps1 and it's going to know it's a PowerShell script. It's empty. So we have already the files, great. We have a bit of a structure. We're going to restructure and rename it. Now let's see if ChatGPT can help us, an AI, to write a script for us. So to do that, we need to go to chatopenai.com. And if you haven't an account, you can create one when you go in there. I'll show quickly what that looks like. I do a new... so chat, well, it's going to look like this. If you go to this URL, you just sign up. And at sign up, you just need to put, if you have a Google account or Gmail or Microsoft or Apple, just go there and you're in no seconds. If you don't have one, add your email address. It's going to ask for your name, your birthday, and also it's going to ask you for a mobile phone number and send an verification code. Once you have got that verification code, you are in and ready to start to use ChatGPT. When you're into ChatGPT, then we can start to ask questions. So we can click here to create a new one. And what are we going to ask ChatGPT? So we can we're going to add a lot of stuff, but let's give a base. Please, we are polite, write a PowerShell script that installs Adobe Acrobat by calling what is it, acropro.msi. So if we go back to our source files, it's this file, and we can add please make it silent. So when it's silent, it's going to add QN for MSI and no reboot. And it's going to do the script for us. So let's start with that. We're going to add more. So here, and you know, ChatGPT, it's not always identical. It's some variations. So you might not see exactly the same as I see. So here we have a good base script. So we need the path for the Acrobat Pro. We get the quiet and no restart. So this is actually pretty good start. However, in Intune, you can't have it set to a fixed path because we don't know where it is. So we can ask it, and we don't have to re-ask. It will know if we put it in the same thread here that we're speaking about this script. So we can just say add, and it will modify the script. Please add a relative script root. So relative script root means that it's relative to the script based on the script using, and I prefer this one here, splitPath communication, MyCommand.Path. We're going to go through that a bit more. So I'm just clicking here now, and it's going to update this script with what we just gave it. I have to scroll down here. Perfect. So scriptPath, it actually used what I put here. So what that means, I will mention that the second time later, is that when we run this script, this path here, the variable, all variables start with a $, is going to be the same path as the script. So that means if I put the MSI file down, where is it? This one here, Acro Pro, in the same folder as the script that we have created, but we haven't put anything in it, then they're going to find each other. So we have a good start here. It's going to run msiexec, then it's going to say I for install, then it's going to take the file path here, and then it have the install arguments, which are currently just quiet and no restart. I would like a log file. Let's add that also. Please add a log file to file. Let's do, I like to do my log files under ProgramData, and then I have a folder called JBNLogs, and let's call it InstallAdobeAcrobat.log. And it's going to fail. If this folder doesn't exist, it's going to fail. So I'm going to ask it also, and if folder doesn't exist, please create it. Let's see if it updates the script. So I have to scroll down a bit. So we're going to modify this script. We're not going to take it exactly as ChatGPT, just to see how much time we win. So it looks like it added /log v, perfect, and a log file path. We like that. That's good. And it's also look, if this folder doesn't exist, then it's going to create it. Okay, we like that. What more? I said in the beginning, we needed to add this MSP file, the patch file, and that's usually done by a /update, and we don't have that in the install argument. So we're going to say that, and maybe actually give the exact name. So I'm going to copy this, I'm just the name actually. So I do fake rename, Control A, Control C, because we're going to give ChatGPT to add this one. Please add to the arguments. See if it is so smart that I know that it needs to be /update. We'll see. If not, we'll see what it says. To include argument modify. Here's an updated script. It didn't tell exactly what it did. Where are arguments? They are here. That's actually correct, /update. And this $update MSP file path, probably the script added it somewhere here. Yep, it's added it here. This works, but I think it's too much code. We're going to tailor it down a bit. So it starts to be pretty good. I think this could be a good first script. I know we will have to add some more parameters to suppress the end user agreement and stuff like that. But let's take this script and start here. So we copy this one and see if we can use it to install. So let's open our PowerShell script that we created in the source, the empty one here. Let's right click. Well, we can use Notepad++ for this. Apparently I have a previous one there. So I'm going to paste the code. All this comes from ChatGPT, but I'm going to tailor it a bit. I'm going to add my own comments up here. So everything in green, it's not going to run. That's just comments. I'm going to explain what this does. Install Adobe Acrobat 64-bit. Then I'll put the author, and I can't take all the credits here, so I put my name plus ChatGPT. I spelled that wrong. And I also like to put date. It's always interesting to know if you have recent stuff. So today we are the 28th September 2023. Okay, so I like the script path. I like to call them script root, but that's fine. So this, I'm going to use this one more to reference all the files. I'm not going to keep this. This one is maybe fine. This is fine. So the reference to the files, I prefer to do it different. So here, the start process, they call MSI totally fine, but I actually prefer to call the MSI itself directly. The system is so smart that when it sees MSI, it's going to call the MSI. So how do we find this one? Well, we need to have the script root, which is now called scriptPath. So I paste that there. And then we do \, and I'm just going to take this name. Copy that. and put down here. All the script I'm going to put in the description of this video. It might be a lot to follow along. So for that, then I don't need this part. I'm just going to delete this. Then I don't like this extra quotation. It's not needed. So I remove this single quote backdash, and I'm going to do the same for this. It works with, but for me it's more confusing. Actually, that means I'm going to remove that as well also. And we don't need actually /i for install. It's going to do that automatically. So what did that run? Here is actually all that it runs. So it's going to say start a process. Then it's going to say, hey, what should I start? Well, run this AcroPro MSI. Then give all the arguments who are in $install arg. And those are here. So what it's going to do? Update. What it's going to update? Well, this MSP file. And again, I will do the same as I did down here. I don't like this extra that it adds, but you can definitely keep it. But for me, it's easier to see it this way and then take the file, the MSP. So I hope it makes sense once I finish to edit here, and then I remove this. For me, it's easier to see, but we are all different. So we do update. What should we update? This file. How do we find this file? Well, the path is the script path. And the script path, again, it's dynamic. So depending where this file run, it's going to find the same file in the same directory. So as long as these two are together, and if we look in our source, they are together. The install file and the MSP file is in the same folder. So even if they are under d:/myfunnyfolder /56a /, they're going to find each other because they just look, oh, are you in the same folder? It doesn't matter where the path is. Okay, so then we have quiet. I like that. Well, normally I prefer QN, but quiet works. And just to tell where I get these switches from, so if we run the terminal, we don't have to be admin because we're not really going to do anything. If I run a MSI exec, here comes, so you can definitely run quiet mode, no user interaction. I just changed that to /Q and then N, no UI, but both works. And further down here, we have no restart. And that's, I close this one, no restart we have here. Then we wanted the log and the log path. This one I'm okay. I mean, I could also copy this one and put that here, but I like that. That's fine because that's static. And if we didn't have this to verify that this log path exists, it wouldn't work. Then it would fail this whole command. So I'm pretty happy to do an early test. Let's test just if this script works to install. And before we continue with the next step, we have a lot more to change here, like the end user agreement. We have some registry settings to set, so we're not finished, but just to see if the base works. So now I regret I didn't start this one as an administrator. So open a terminal or a PowerShell. I prefer terminal. You have everything there. Right click, run as administrator. And now we're going to run our script. And where did I located mine? Well, I located mine in the root. I think it was called Intune something. Yeah, Intune packages. And if we do ls or dir, we see it's called Adobe Acrobat XXX64. We're going to rename that after. Under there, we have a source. And if we look in here, we have our install file. So we're going to run that and see. So this machine doesn't have any Adobe Acrobat. This is the web search. So it's not installed. So if we go apps, it's empty. So let's see if our install file, if it works. So we do / to say run the file from this directory and install. I usually like a dash, install dash. Well, we're going to rename it anyway. This is just to see, do we have a good base? So let's run this, see if we get any errors, or if Adobe Acrobat going to show up. I'm going to go to the log folder. I'm going to open a new tab here. So under my C, ProgramData is hidden folder. ProgramData. Let's see if JBNLogs show up. It's created now. And we have a log file. It's currently empty. We can double click and see what's happening in this log file. I remove printer error, nothing to be worried about. So far it's been it's still working. We have to wait until it releases this from the prompt. And Adobe Acrobat is fairly large, so nope, still not installed. Right. We could also open a new tab here and go program files. It's a 64-bit, so program files here. It have created an Adobe. It probably had an Adobe already. Nope, there is a new one, Acrobat. It's not finished, but yeah, files are getting copied, so hopefully we have a good one. And again, if we didn't add this part here, /update the MSP, we would still install, but we would get version 21. So this patch just update this Acrobat Pro MSI is the base, probably when they created Adobe Acrobat or something, and then they have these different patch files. So if you repackage this, you can use exactly the same logic. You just update the MSP file. You can download only the MSP file. You don't need to re-download all the software. It looks like maybe stuff are happening. No, it's not finished yet. Let's see if we do Acrobat. Yep, it's there, but I will not start it. It's maybe have some more stuff to do. Oh, there we got it. So let's quickly start Adobe Acrobat. And we're going to see that we will want to do some more changes because we're going to get the welcome screen. We got to ask to be logged in and a lot of things. So it asked me to log in, and we don't want that for the normal reader, so we will have to do some extra stuff. We have a pretty good base though. So this is our base script. So in the next video, we're going to tailor this better. We're going to rename the folder with the version name. We're going to add some register key. We're going to add some end user license agreement. I think I already had it on this machine, so we didn't saw it, but if not, we would have got one. So let's see you in the next video where we continue with the rest. Thank you very much.